Okay, I'm getting ready to make a couple DIY dummies for Halloween. Basically some sheet ghosts. Basically what I'm going to do this year, make really cheap dummies, and I don't need them to be real flexible, like arms and legs to be flexible. So I'm just going to have straight legs, and like these are the legs coming down. I'm just using the 95-cent wood. It's actually right leg on every one of these, and arm and torso and hips and shoulders. And I just measure it against my own body to come up with the design. Right here I wrote ground because I'm actually going to have the posts go through the shoes. Every year I want to do this, but I never do. But this year I'm going to actually cut the heels out of the shoes. They're just old junk shoes, and every year I have the same problem, but then I think, I don't want to ruin the shoes, but no, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to cut the holes in the shoes. Basically so that the shoes will hide this post going into the ground. This is going to go into the ground on either side. The foot will be right here. It'll go into the ground on either side about a foot down, so that they'll be standing, but people won't be able to tell how the heck they're standing. The idea is that they look like somebody standing there really still. Now see, here I've got the legs already set up. These are the arms. This is the hips, and that's the shoulders up there, and that's the torso. So basically they're gonna look something like this guy right here. Just basic body shapes right now. This is the skeletal structure. And so I'm just getting ready to drill it all together with some screws. Okay, so here's the skeletons, and they are done. As you can see, all you really have to do with this metal core is just duct tape it in place. I used to drill it all the way down with this long drill, but it's a waste of time. Also, you could see it was a little flimsy, so I reinforced it there and here, and I reinforced this by doubling this up, and I really should have like one going all the way down, but I'm running out of wood. And here's the other one real quick. Okay, here's the two finished dummy skeletons, and right here I always leave a hand section to put the prop hands onto. Okay, a cheap way to get some material, especially for something like just to make dummies out of. For $6 at Walmart, you can get Work Choice 8x12 drop cloth. So yeah, I'm not really sure what this stuff is made out of. It's kind of interesting. On one side, it feels kind of like a paper towel. And on the other side, it's like definitely plastic, but it's actually really strong stuff, so I think it's gonna work out just fine. Although if I had a little more money, I'd prefer to have material, but this is actually quite strong, so I think it's gonna be okay. The first thing you want to do is lay it out on the floor and fold it in half so that you have a back side and a front side. And you're going to basically make a skin for the dummy that will have arms and legs and a body. So you're gonna basically first start by tracing your own body, or you can lay the dummy down and trace that as well. One thing you have to realize is that you can't make the lines of the dummy as skinny as your actual body, because your actual body is going to be three-dimensional. It's already stuffed, you know, with skeleton and meat and bones. You're not like flat on the ground. But this material's flat on the ground, so if you make it really thin, when you go to stuff it, you're gonna not have enough room and it's gonna be rail skinny. So be sure to make it extra baggy. You can always take it in a little bit later if it does actually end up looking fat. Okay, so just go ahead and cut that out, and now you have your skin for your body, which you can stuff with newspaper or packing chips. Sometimes I use. And the cool thing is, since it's 8 by 12, I'm gonna be able to make 2 bodies out of one. So it's only gonna cost me $6. Okay, so it looks like it was much easier to just trace around the dummy than myself. So this is a good way to go right here. You know, just leave plenty of room, because when you go get those arms and legs in there and everything, it's gonna be real tight unless you leave a lot of room in the crotch and the armpits and plenty of thickness all the way around. Okay, so the pattern turned out to be really easy to sew, and the nice thing about it too is that it really clings together and seems to just want to stay in the same shape, so that as you're sewing it, you don't have to keep lining it up like crazy and then you end up with it all misaligned at the end. It just went perfectly. Now, one thing when you're sewing it, don't be tempted to sew up the shoulders right here, or you're never going to get your skeleton in. So leave that part open for now anyways. And also the other part, if you're doing it like I am, then you've got to leave the feet open as well. So there it is, it just slipped on right like a glove, just real easy. I'd recommend, just for the sake of it slipping on really easy, to put the plastic side on the inside. Alright, there's the other skeleton, or sheet ghost as he's gonna be, all ready to go. One thing I would use on this is definitely use a zigzag stitch. A straight stitch is just not as strong, and it really isn't gonna hold that well.
Geez, I hate to ask, but can I use your arm real quick? I left the ladder outside, and your dress is clear up there in that box up there.
Oh no, go for it.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, this is really helping a bunch. Yeah, great.
I think it's better to put the clothes on before you stuff the dummy, so there's a lot more room to get the clothes onto the dummies. One other thing is it helps to safety pin things in, like I safety pin this guy's pants on so that they won't be falling off all the time. Obviously a belt's not going to work too well. Sometimes I'll use suspenders though. Okay, so this dummy is really coming together. One thing at the bottom down here, I'm just closing it up with some duct tape, and I'm just gonna go ahead and tape this together, and that's where it's gonna go into the shoe. Okay, so I was able to drill and skill saw a hole into the bottom of this shoe. Let's see, as you can see. Anyways, it's gonna work out great for me. Okay, and there's the second one with a hole through it. And there's what that hole looks like. Alright, so there he is, all ready to plant in the ground. And that part, of course, is going to go into the ground, or it'd be kind of weird if it was just kind of floating and it painted in black or something. Alright, so the dummies are starting to look good. They're just about ready to go. Alright, so there's 1 foot. Pretty gross looking foot, huh? Alright, so the legs on this one are all done. And let's see. Alright, so my dummies are all done and ready to go.